So she was like, I'm proud that you went out there and you did that. That's the first thing. And the second thing is talk to the Lord about it. And so I'm like, that's not the answer I'm trying to get, yo. And she told me to talk to another family member. So I talked to the other family member and I copied and pasted the same message that I sent my sister to them. And they gave me the same response. Pray about it. Dog, I already prayed about it more than one time and I'm not hearing an answer. Like, what else am I supposed to do? Like, I'm texting y'all because I want guidance. And my thing was, I was looking for an answer from the person who could not provide the answer. The only person that could provide the answer for me that I was looking for was God.
The only podcast with authentic conversations wrapped in truth and motivation. The Views Over Views podcast. Let's go.
Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome to the first episode of the Views Over Views podcast. I am your host, Major. If you can't tell, I am very nervous, and it's crazy because I'm always behind the camera, and I always tell the person in front of the camera, just relax, be yourself, you're gonna be fine, you're doing great. Now the roles have reversed, and I'm a little nervous. I ain't gonna hold you, but I decided to start this podcast. I've done a couple different podcasts before in the past, and they've stopped, due to just life. You dig what I'm saying? And so I just decided to start something new. This is almost like therapy for myself in a sense. On here, I'm going to be sharing my views on things. That's why I call it Views Over Views, because I'm sharing my thoughts and my opinion on things. And if they happen to resonate with somebody, let the Lord use the message in whatever way he sees fit for it to touch somebody. But if not, I'm definitely not pressed. And I'm not stressing that kind of stuff. That's why I'm like views over views. I'd rather share my views than be focused on getting views. So if I'm hated for what I say, that's cool. If I'm loved for what I say, that's beautiful as well, man. But I feel like right now I am supposed to be sharing this year, 2024. Happy New Year, by the way, everybody. 2024. 2023 was really like a very interesting year for myself. I'll get more into that like as we do later episodes. But I'm excited to see what year 2024 has in store, not just for me, but the people who are connected to me, the people I'm connected to. And yeah, so we're going to get into this. I had a plan. Let me go through what I got. And I'm not going to hold you. I'm going to keep it authentic all the way through. Like, I'm not going to switch up nothing. I'm going to keep it 100 all the way through. If I want to edit something out, I may just keep it, go with the flow. But let me see. Life has been very interesting these past couple of days. I don't know if I want to start off with this or not. So I write everything down on my phone because if I write it down, I'm a little bit better at articulating the things when it comes to being here in front of the camera. So if you see me staring down at the phone, I'm paying attention and I'm still tuned in. I'm just looking for my words and how to find them. So I'm just trying to figure out what topic to start with. Okay, like I was saying, I'll go here. So I brought in the year 2024 in a very unexpected way, and God really showed me a lot these past couple of days. So a lot of people don't know this, but I am adopted. I was adopted at 6 weeks old. So basically, after I was born and got out of the hospital, like I did not go home with my biological family. Like I went home with someone that I did not know. And that experience changed my life forever. I was adopted, like I said, at 6 weeks old. And I stayed in New York. I'm originally from New York, Bronx, New York. So I stayed in New York until I was about 3. I lied. I'm counting my math. I got to count on my fingers. Yo, and if I tap this and then hear noise, because I don't have the headphones on, so I'm going to listen to this later. But anyway, I moved from New York when I was 6. I moved from New York to this small town called Savannah, Georgia. I'm not too sure if you all are familiar with it, but I moved down there because I had a family member. I had some family members. My sister and her brother-in-law on my adopted side was a military family. So they told my mom they wanted to give my mom help with me with education, so they had us move down to Georgia. And long story short, the family member that was supposed to be helping me matriculate through my educational journey had been killed like probably 4-5 years after we moved to Savannah. So that kind of like went left. But I say all that to say my mother that adopted me. So if you hear me talk about my mother, I'm talking about the mother who adopted me. If I talk about my mom, like, I don't even know how I'm gonna differentiate that. Like, I'm gonna just say I'm gonna just say my mom. Anytime I'm talking about my biological mother or father, like, I'm talking about biological, like that side of the family. So anyway, Lord, bring it back to my remembrance. Okay, my mom. So she after she adopted me, like I said, long story short, we moved from New York to Savannah, and I was raised in Savannah. And my mom passed away in 2018, and so I'm 26 now. She died when I was 21. So that kind of like, I'm not gonna lie, that really messed me up. I've always been like an independent individual because my mom wasn't the best health wise. So I've had to be mature since a young age. Like I'm talking about like 11, 12 years old, mature, like helping pay bills, getting side jobs, helping to take care of the household. And so the reason I said my 2024 started off really weird is because my biological father, died Friday on the 29th. And so that kind of like threw my head for a spin, and I'm like, oh, this is crazy. And it's so crazy how God works. I knew something crazy had happened, and it didn't hit me until after the fact. My little sister from New York called me. I'll go into the backstory of my family in a minute. But my little sister called me from New York, and this is my biological sister on my biological side. She called me, and any time if a person calls me outside of their normal schedule, like I know something is up. So like she called me at 10 o'clock in the morning, and I was at the gym. So she called me, and she was like, "Hey, you busy?" I'm like, "Nah, what's up? Like I got time for you. What's going on?" And so she was like, "I wish I could call you with better news." And she was like, "Daddy's gone." And I'm like, "What? Like, what happened?" Like, meanwhile, I don't really keep tabs with my biological family. Well, my biological mother and father. My siblings I do, but my mother and father, I don't really keep ties with them like that. But anytime I'm in New York, I make sure I go see them, say hello, give them daps, give them hugs, all that good loving. You feel what I'm saying? And so that kind of like threw me on a loop. So I decided to use the money that I had saved for my bills to book a like last minute flight to fly out there to take care of my little sister, make sure she was good, and to make sure my biological mother was fine. And so the whole time I'm trying to like figure out what's going on. And so I got back to the house. I took a shower, try to clear my head, get cleaned up, try to head out, figure all this stuff out. And after that, went to the airport, got to New York. Everything was chill. And the whole time I'm like texting my partners, texting my other family members, like, I feel like God is sending me on an assignment. And I feel like my assignment is to go and comfort my sister and my mother during this trying time. And so throughout the whole trip, I learned a lot in just a matter of those 48 hours. I had a conversation with my little sister and just asking her, like, did she know anything about our childhood? Because I was adopted at 6 weeks old. I know absolutely nothing about my parents, my biological parents. And so she gave me a little backstory, this, that, and the other, and everything started to make sense. And also during that trip, I figured out and I found out how I relate to each person in my family. Like, I've learned that my humor, if you know me, you know I like to crack jokes. I love to have a good time. So I like my humor came from my father. And I'm not gonna lie, like, I'm sensitive because I care about certain stuff in a certain way. And I've been working on trying to show my emotions in these past couple of like years. And so I've learned that my sensitivity comes from my mother. And I've also learned that my sense of fashion came from my father, which also came from a older brother of mine on my biological side. They say we twins, but that's where my fashion sense come from. My caring and my nurturing comes from another brother of mine. And then the love that I have and the sincerity comes from my little sister. And I've learned, even though I'm older than her, you feel what I'm saying? Like, I've learned and put the pieces of the puzzle together on how I am wired as an individual. And I would never ask myself that question, but I would always think in the back of my head, like, who am I? Like, who am I really? And me figuring that out really helped me a lot. And so God it's crazy how God works, because the assignment that I was set on, that I thought I was sent to do, did a whole 180 on me. And I thought my assignment was to go there and to comfort. But originally God had the plan in his head for me to go out there for me to be comforted, if that makes sense. So once I realized that, like, I just sat there and I'm not gonna lie, I cried, yo. Like, and I was on the fence because when I flew out there, I legit didn't have the money to go and do it. So I'm like, God, I don't have the money, but I trust you. I trust that when I come back, everything will fall into place for me to be able to pay my bills and everything on time. Like, and so I got back. No, before I got back, I was on the fence about coming back because I only bought a one-way ticket, and that one-way ticket maxed me out. I'm not gonna lie to you. And so I'm just sitting there trying to think, and I'm asking my sister on my mother's side, my adopted mother's side. I'm texting her because, like, my family, my adopted family, is more so very, very spiritual. And so I text her and I was like, hey, sis, like, I'm trying to figure out if I'm in my head. I'm trying to make sure I didn't move prematurely. I wanted to make sure that I did what I felt led to do by the Spirit, this, that, and the other. And she was like basically saying, like, you did the right thing. I'm proud of you going out there, because for those who know me know I do not really, like I said, I don't keep ties with my biological family, and I don't really like talk to them about anything. So talk to the Lord about it. And so I'm like, that's not the answer I'm trying to get, yo. And she told me to talk to another family member. So I talked to the other family member, and I copied and pasted the same message that I sent my sister to them, and they gave me the same response. Pray about it. Dog, I already prayed about it more than one time, and I'm not hearing an answer. Like, what else am I supposed to do? Like, I'm texting y'all because I want guidance. And my thing was, I was looking for an answer from the person who could not provide the answer. The only person that could provide the answer for me that I was looking for was God. So I'm like, all right, cool. Forget it. So I'm like, I don't even hear it. I am just going to go and book this ticket. So I booked the ticket to leave to come back to Atlanta on New Year's Eve. Got back right in time. But, like, I had that conversation with my sister um, about my backstory and figured out that moment that I was here to be comforted right before it was time for me to leave for my flight. Like 2 hours before it was time for me to leave, I figured out the reason why I was sent to New York that weekend. And it was just, man, mind mind blowing, man. Um, and I'm so thankful. And I know that's what I needed right before I got back here to bring in the new year. Like that was I honestly believe that that was divine timing because I'm here stressing. I flew out there for one thing, left with a whole different thing. Not even knowing that I needed that closure. I left with closure and understanding. And it didn't come from my parents' mouth because that's who I wanted it to come from. But it came from a reliable source who's seen more and witnessed and experienced more than I have ever done in my 26 years of living because I've never had a connection with them. And so bringing in the year 2024, that was truly one of the top moments, my top 5 moments of 2023 was figuring out who I finally am as a person. And I could not be more thankful to the Lord up above that He has finally given me that closure. And He has finally been able to show me that I am worthy, I am funny, I am sensitive, I am unique, I am different. I'm me. Like, I'm Devontae. Like, people know me as Major, but I'm Devontae. I'm Devontae. And being around my family and hearing them call me by my name, yo, like, that joint was different, bro. And I feel like oftentimes, man, we try to live up to this person that we really aren't, man. And it felt great to be seen as me. And that was honestly my start, how I started off 2024. I was supposed to like go with my homeboy and a crew of people and go out and celebrate bringing in the new year, but something kept telling me to just go home. And I came home, I prayed, I got on my knees and I prayed like I've never prayed a day in my life. And God gave me clarity and God gave me guidance. And then I listened to some sermons and I just meditated on God's word and brought in 2024 like never before. And I'm so thankful to God that He's provided and led me this way. So, long story short, that was my bringing into 2024 and knowing who I am. And I learned, most importantly, outside of learning who I am, I've learned how to love. I've learned what it means to properly love. I've struggled with loving people for so long, and I'm waiting. I'm waiting for an opportunity for God to allow me to share that love to someone else, and in any way, form, or fashion. And it's like it doesn't have to be a relational love. It could be something platonic, and like and when the Bible says like there's no greater love for man to lay down his life for a friend. Forgive me if I'm saying it wrong, but my mind, but like that's for real. Um, it's not about us. God did not put us on this earth for us to enjoy earth. God put us on this earth to enjoy memories, enjoy times, to do His work, to do His will, and to love people as He loves us unconditionally. And I've learned that love, you could say I love you till you turn blue in the face, but love is in action. Love is in action. Love is a verb. Love is just not a noun. Love is a verb. Love is something that has to be done. Love is something that has to be shown. Love is something that has to be trusted. And yeah, man. So this was a little rocky, man. It's the first episode coming out the gate with this, and I'm excited to see where this goes. And if you've been touched, I just ask one simple thing. You just share this with a friend. I don't know how this YouTube thing works. I'm gonna reach out to some friends that I know and ask them for some guidance because I'm normally behind the camera. I don't work with distribution as far as getting the content out. Not all the time. I do know what I'm doing, but it's like I just want to sit here and I want to be the talent and I want to talk. So I appreciate y'all for listening. If you've made it this far, I do appreciate you for listening. And if you have any suggestions or topics or questions that you would like to know about myself, my journey, and I'll probably get more into like a backstory of who I am on the next episode. But I don't know. This is unscripted. This is authentic conversation wrapped in truth and motivation, and I'm sticking to it. Like, I'm not going to go by line item. Like I said, I got the phone. It's going to help me get a basis of what I want to talk about, but literally I'm letting Holy Spirit lead when I'm doing these things. So, once again, I appreciate y'all. I got to come up with like a little tagline at the end when I send people off. But until I figure it out, I'm trying to think. People who know me they know I try to think of things on the spot. But until I talk to y'all again, y'all stay blessed. And yeah, I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Peace.